nobody say what I own. Sky limit, gonna get everything now. I'm taking it, I say don't you go anywhere now. Ain't nobody say what I own. Sky limit, gonna get everything now.
Good morning.
Good morning, your time. Hey, how are you?
I am severely underbearded in this podcast.
Well, you know, if you keep one of these nearby and a bucket for everything you comb out of it, and they just glue it back on, you'll look like all the ladies in the nursing homes around here. No,
Nice.
that's in Canada. That's not here. So
yeah, well, you know, they're a sitting target. They can't get away. So
I am so glad that you're in your gaming room, because that's going to be a topic that we want to get into. So
Absolutely.
Uh,
Me?
yeah, oh my
Come
God,
on.
that is
Come on, I don't mess around.
nice.
Well, thank you so much for coming on to our show.
Happy to do it.
Yeah.
It was.
And if we go over an hour, that's fine.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's really your
Great.
call.
Obligatory warning: we're already recording. But just to make sure it works.
Yeah, nothing's live. This is just being recorded.
Yeah.
So if you say anything, or have to burp or whatever, just let us know, and we'll edit it out. So that's not.
I think burping should be permitted. I think it should be included.
Okay, awesome.
People are human.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, speaking of that, welcome to the Mages and Sages podcast, featuring Ed Greenwood as the old mage. I'm
Woo-hoo!
Jeff Thetford. I'm the one who thought this whole thing up. Curry Russell has been a friend of mine since he was 11 years old, and yes, I was a dirty old man apparently, because I was in my 20s when I met him. His father was my roommate. And I got him into playing D&D in 1984, 85, I guess it was.
Whenever 11 years old was, we'll go
11 years. I started playing in 1978 myself, when my mother.
79.
Yep. You
All
did,
right.
the box with the dragon on the front of it, the blue box.
Yeah. That's
there it is.
there.
Yeah. I see it. I've got two of them in there. I have my original cover left, and that's it. So we know that Ed's been playing since he was 8 years old. So
No. I've been playing war games. There was no D&D when I was 8 years old.
That's right. However, there was Elminster. There was Elminster and Mert the Moneylender, and
That's right.
and all these people back in the day.
And there were girls. Oh, sorry.
But in Canada, they're always wrapped up in parkas.
Yeah,
and all that good stuff. So, but no, thank you so much for coming on the show. We there's a lot of things we'd like to talk about. Mainly, it's your gaming and your love of D&D, your love of fantasy role playing. Did a little research, and I saw that one of the questions I'll ask you first is which came first for you? Was it the gaming, or was it? I guess it would be the gaming, but you started acting at a young age too, correct?
Well, I would say I gamed first, because I started gaming in 79.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, and other than play acting with friends, which is role playing, which is D&D, which is all of that.
Right.
I that came first, and then I started acting in like junior high, and then high school, and then majored in it in college. But I would say the gateway drug was action figures and Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
That is fantastic. Wow. Okay, Curry.
Okay. I've got a real simple softball one, and I'm really interested in this answer. Tell me about your relationship with REO Speedwagon and this guy right here. Specifically, Come Sail Away. And
that's Styx, not REO.
Oh, that's
That's right,
right.
no.
It is Styx. I got him wrong.
Curry. Oh my God. Take away your
Ah.
game. Take away your metal card.
Great
And
talking with you, Curry. Anyway, next question.
And I'm the musician in the bunch. You would figure I'd get that one right. Super interested in your version based on the tattoo that I saw.
So yeah, this is the Trampier cover.
Yep.
And then I have in the original AD&D font, I have "Come Sail Away" written. I would say, because it all kind of circles around the same time period, because "Come Sail Away" came out in 1977, which was the year of the Rankin and Bass Hobbit.
Yep.
And so that was clearly also a gateway drug to D&D. So probably around 78 is when I was introduced to the game from my cooler older cousin, Tori. May he rest in peace. And he, I mean, it was one of those, like, I'm probably 10 and, listening to Styx a lot in elementary school because of the imagery. And because of, "Come Sail Away," like, he thought that they were angels, but much to his surprise, they climbed aboard their starship and headed for the skies. Like, what? What? And the storytelling was like going on a boat and setting a sail, and it was an adventurous, and then all that proggy synth and stuff. And so it all kind of circled around the same time. With my going hard into fantasy, all of that, like Kansas and Point of No Return and Carry On My Wayward Son, and like all of that is so intertwined with my experience of what D&D feels like in my soul, because it's what we were listening to on our radios and our cassette tapes, and even the album covers were just so trippy, and Castle Walls and Crystal Ball, and there's something that I cannot and will not unmesh from D&D. D&D and Styx to me are one and the same. And Come Sail Away is a call to adventure. Like, it's literally an extended hand inviting you to adventure. And so when I play Dungeons and Dragons, it lives in that Bakshi, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Tolkien, Styx. Like, it's a very late 70s, early 80s thing for me. Even to this day, like, that's what it feels like in my vagabond heart. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, no, that is beautiful. No, and for me it was Asia, especially that album cover with the dragon on the front of it. I mean, come on. And then of course I grew up really listening to just rock and roll period. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's something about it, and those bands were leaning in, right? Like, they were leaning into all of this gothic and fantasy imagery. Even Led Zeppelin wrote songs based on Tolkien. Like,
I know. In the lands of Mordor.
We just watched the extended edition for Father's Day. We set up the big screen in the backyard and did a projector. We watched the extended Fellowship, the 3.5 hours of Fellowship. I'm like, this is the perfect Dungeons and Dragons movie. I was not raised on anime. That wasn't part of my vernacular. I was raised on Excalibur and Conan and Beastmaster and Hawk the Slayer.
Sword and Sorcerer.
Sword and Sorcerer. Right. Oh my
God. Like that is where. So when I play D&D, like, that's what I'm seeing when I close my eyes, and that's what it feels like. And then my adventures tend to tip into that vibe more than, I would say, Final Fantasy and all of the more modern takes on D&D. Mine lives fully in that Trampier cover, which is why I had it put on my arm, which is all of that Errol Otis and Jeff Easley and somebody's knocking on my door, Larry Elmore, like all of those artists, and then all of those musicians really fused, and it makes my heart swell, right?
Right. Right.
I love that story. Thank you.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you talk about the Dave Trampier. Wormy was my tribute to Dave. I couldn't. I'd never seen a Wormy tattoo before. And
I've been toying with getting one.
Oh, let me tell you, this is.
Has anybody released the collected works of just Wormy?
No.
And people have been searching for them after his death. He refused he was asked by the guys who did Gygax magazine, and said no. So now that he's like no longer with us, there's the inevitable attempt to look among his papers and so on, and so far haven't found
That's a
enough.
shame.
I mean, we could all put together what we can grab from our Dragon magazines.
Right.
That's different than getting, and because it just ends in the middle of a story, and everybody wants everything. So yeah, that was one of my please projects, but no.
That's not going to happen. No.
Yeah, it's again, that stuff, the Dragon magazines. I actually, Ed, I think I have your first. I have the issue with your first article in it.
Oh, that'd be issue 30. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's again, that was a pilgrimage, like going to. There was a store called The Hobbyist, because I grew up in the Midwest, and my cousin Scott and myself and our friend Matt Lunak. So, little side note, I don't know if you guys know, I have a table. I worked with a company called the Weather Dragon, which they're going to be, he is going to be at GaryCon this year or next year. And so we collaborated on a Stashwick gaming table.
I saw the tweet when they delivered it to you. They were really proud, and they tweeted. I
was
going to say, I love the picture of you kissing it when it came in. So
there it is.
It was definitely one of the things we wanted to talk about.
Well, okay. I don't want to derail too much from where my train of thought was going, but then we'll circle back.
Yeah.
So with this table, you can put runes on it, like Elvish and Dwarvish runes, and write whatever you want. And so what I've done is I've taken my cousin's character, my character, and Matt's character, and my cousin Tori, and I've put all of our names at the four corners of the table.
Nice.
So that I'm always, whenever I sit down, I'm sitting down with them.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
Yeah. So it never leaves my heart, right? It's this game means so much to me, and I left it for a bit because of Satanic Panic, but it just means so much, Well, you guys know who am I talking to? Who am I talking
to? Yeah,
it's okay.
I remember the Satanic Panic. I used to work in a little toy store when I was in college in Texas, called Toys by Roy, and I worked in the hobby section, and I sold all the D&D stuff, right? So I have a stack of modules which I took home to read for research and never took them back.
Never made it back. They never made it home.
Yeah, no, that's right. And people used to come in and preach to me, and I just ignored them. But yeah, my mother even was like, "I'm so sorry I bought you that satanic game." I'm like, "Mom, there's nothing satanic about it, please." I
love Gary's response. He's like, "If I could cast spells, do you think I'd be a game maker?"
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be living on a mountain of money somewhere.
It beats his former gig of repairing shoes in his basement.
He was a shoe repairman.
Right.
So we used to, speaking of Gary, I used to go to camp in Lake Geneva. In Wisconsin, and it was literally a mile up the road or up the lake from the dungeon. And so 12-year-old Stashwick and his cousin Scott would walk on the path and go to the dungeon. I remember the first time when we were like literally in the phone book trying to figure out where it was.
Right.
And in my brain, I was going to walk into something out of Universal Studios. I thought it was going to be like torches and cobblestones and cobwebs and skeletons, and it was wire racks and minis. But it was still, there was something like touching the hem of the garment at the time, like showing up into this is like ground zero of the thing that we played every day we could as children. Ironically, that same camp, not that one specifically, but the same company, we went to another one up in Michigan, and it was those camp counselors that convinced us that it was evil.
Oh
And
no!
I came back that summer, so that I'd already been playing for about 4 years, and I came back that summer and was like, oh, I'm getting rid of all of this.
Oh no!
I had a I mean, look, the same imagination that fueled me to play it in the first place was playing tricks on me as a 12 or 13-year-old. And so my parents were like, we spent a lot of money on those books. I'm like, get these behind me. And so I got rid of it all and didn't come back to the game until I was late 40s.
Really?
50s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you never recovered that you wish you had back? Besides all of it?
I went on eBay and bought back, as you can see, I bought back all of my books and box sets. There's obviously a couple holy grails. Had I had the presence of mind at the time to pick up the wood grain box,
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
but now it's $27,000.
Sure.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm too old.
There's a pristine version that's 27 grand. I do have a white box over here.
Oh, you do? Oh my God!
That's
It's
right.
is that in
there.
shrink? Is that in shrink wrap?
No, it's just in a plastic bag in case
Oh,
there's
okay.
water damage. And then I do love to collect the old modules. I'd love to get a hold of the first printing of the chainmail with the fantasy supplement.
Right.
Oh yes. I have both, but not as a first printing. They were all the hobby shops had them back when I was, but they were like there was always a third printing with the coil ring, so it would open flat.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. But so those two things are probably holy grails for me. Someday when I have money to throw on fires, I will cave and get a wood grain. But that's just, my wife just goes, no.
Well,
No.
you're an actor, so right after you get the personal jet,
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Things people don't understand about
No,
acting.
they don't.
Yeah.
No, luckily my wife is fairly understanding. I went in yesterday and said, "Oh, I just bought three prints from Jeff Easley." So,
No, I mean, like, for the most part, she completely encourages my sickness, as you can see.
I love it.
As you can see, but I think $27,000 for a box at this stage in our lives just
That's
feels
a
a little
Yeah.
what's the word, ostentatious. Yeah.
Necessary.
But,
the word you're groping for is necessary.
necessary.
Thank
That's
you,
right.
Ed.
Mentally
Okay,
necessary.
I'm gonna get her on the phone. Hang on.
You don't understand. I don't know if you've seen the pictures on if you've been on the Fans of Ed Greenwood site that I put together a couple of years ago. I went out to see Ed at his house. So what you see behind him is probably literally 1/200th of the
So
books
little.
he has.
Oh,
So
these are just the writing. This is the writing office, not the
This
light.
is the writing office. This is the office where he has the gaming stuff. Then you go into his working office downstairs where it has all the unopened game boxes, Mist and all the stuff from D&D. Then you go down in his basement where he's got thousands and thousands of books on bookshelves.
I can make this
What-
easier for you. This is so much easier to define. Todd, are Are you a fan of Elminster's Tower at all in any way, shape, or form?
Keep going.
The answer is just yes, exactly that, and that's what you'll find there. If
It's amazing.
you can imagine
What part of the
books stacked from the floor to the ceiling.
what part of the world are you living in, Ed?
Okay. If you go to Rochester, New York,
Okay.
and walk on water straight across the lake due north, you will come to a gravel quarry big enough for lake freighters to pull up at, and right behind it is the village I live in.
What's it called?
Colborne, in
Colborne.
Crammy Township, which has a weird spelling, but Colborne, the village of Colborne. And I have 2 shipping containers in the yard and 400,000 books.
That's amazing.
If you go to the website, Todd, you can see video
But
that
this
I
isn't
took
about
and-
me.
No, but here you go. That's his basement. Right
I'm
here.
just trying to work my way into
Take
your
a
will.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well, if you come up here and deal with it all,
Oh yeah.
So that's just a small part of his basement down the middle. If you go about 20 feet to either side,
Wow.
is up to the ceiling and floor
Oh,
of
yeah.
books.
That's so
And-
great, Ed.
And that's just an eye blink of everything down there.
Yeah,
But
that's not
look,
including the 80.
I mean, and it look, it shows in the work you've done. You've transformed the face of the game. Like,
Absolutely.
He has. He absolutely
it's
has.
incredible.
and,
incredible.
and I'm not in jail yet. No.
Well, it's
Yeah, I
hard
mean,
to
I
extract
have a meager collection of box set
No.
over there, and then these books there, and then there's more down there. But I don't have 400,000.
But you have room to game in. I look at your nerd layer with
I
envy.
do. I do
Because
have a
there's-
room to game.
People
Don't-
can sit around that table. Damn it.
Don't let him fool you. There's some of the books down in his downstairs, his game boxes and
That's so fun.
Say what I own. Sky limit, gonna get everything now. I'm taking it. I say don't you go anywhere now. Ain't nobody say what I own. Sky limit, gonna get everything now. I'm taking it. I'm number one. I'm at the top. When you're not below, when you gotta stop. I want your time, you all alone. So I go sit down, make a deal with I'm number one. I'm at the top. La 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 la. La 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 la.